30 years ago, heart disease was one of the major concerns of humanity. But today, 1 in 3 people are affected by loneliness. But when I look around to find, say, like, okay, why people are loneliness, and there is no clear indication of what is happening, and then what could be the solution, most of the people are actually saying the same thing. Let's look at it in a different way. Let's understand what is loneliness and what is our contribution to it and how we can actually fix it. Welcome to Askraghulan. Thank you for all the love and support. If you like my video, subscribe to the channel. And this video is sponsored by armorrunner.com. You can find a lot of products in it like watches, wallets and t-shirts, a lot of trekking and touring gears. And if you are actually looking to find a solution for loneliness, trekking, touring, adventure sport, anything that you do like an outdoor activity with a bunch of people will actually create good long-lasting relationship. So give it a try, and I'll be posting some trekking and touring partnership that we are doing with Armorado, and you'll be getting some special discount as well. And if you guys are feeling lonely, give it a try. You might actually find some good friends out there. Let's start with understand, like, say, why in 1 in 3 people are actually lonely. Like why it is like so rampant. The reason being is like when something is possible, it can happen. When something is impossible, it's not going to happen. Let's say I'm going to give you like 8 hours of time, and then I'm going to ask you, okay, go and make a beautiful statue. You don't have the stone, you don't have the tools, you don't have the skills. Now, how are you going to do it? You're definitely not going to do it. But let's say if I give you a sculptor, let's say I give you the stone, let's say I give you a 3D printer, give you everything. All you have to do is just tell them what you want. Then you're going to keep making more statues of it. Now, I just made it very easy, made it possible, and it is happening. So now 1 in 3 people are lonely because we made it possible. The world is designed for people to be lonely. And why is that? Because if you are in groups, you make noise. If you are in groups, you're not going to sit back and watch things happening in the way if people want it to be. There are higher forces which just basically want you to be segregated. And lockdown is just one simulation of it. There is more to come about it. But the goal is basically, let's say if there is like 4 people and 4 people have the exact same problem, and if they talk to each other and if they trust each other, then they will actually start raising voice. The concept of raising voice against some problem which is common to more people, not just you, happens only when you actually trust people around you, because they're going to back you up. Now, what happens right now? Like if people are let's say even if you take a company of 100 people working, and if you just make everyone start working like around 12 hours or 10 hours or something like that, people are not going to question together because they don't know what 99% of the people are doing. So they think that they're the only one who's working more. So they're not going to really talk to others. And even then, they will not have the trust to talk to others, because they might actually think that, okay, what if that person goes to the HR and says that I'm the one who's complaining around the company, and what if I'm the only one who's going to lose the job? I'm not going to trust him. I'm not going to talk about my problems to him. I'll probably talk to people like who cannot make any difference in my life. I'm going to keep continuing with the problem, and that is what's happening. And now the next thing is like being an introvert. And I've already said this in my Tamil channel before, and I actually stood quite a lot of controversies around it. But point is, like, to me, previously, like around 25 years ago and things like that, when I was in school days, being an introvert, people identify it as a sort of like a disadvantage. And literally there is no advantage of being an introvert. And people don't find it cool. People don't find it being stylish or anything like that. People know that is a disadvantage and they need to fix it. And they actually constantly worry about it, and they actually constantly look for solution, and they even help themselves to fix it. And eventually they'll do it, just like me. I was an introvert. I was having a stage fear. I was shy, and I have all of those things. And then what happened was that, like, I actually changed it, because I saw like, 1,000 people are looking at a stage, and person who goes up on the stage get instant fame, get instant recognition. And why can't we do it? Of course, people are going to laugh at us. People are going to make fun of us. But trust me, you're not going to even hear them. And probably, you might even get blurred out of it because they're too far and they're never going to reach you. I realized it, and it did actually change me in my public speaking. I went to a lot of university to do a lot of speaking and things like that. It actually created a commercial opportunity as well. Now what happens is, like, after 30 years, being an introvert, people don't feel guilty. People actually feel cooler, and that is being propelled to us like for the last 15-20 years through cartoons, animes, and movies and things like that. I'll give you one example. And there was this movie which is called Suicide Squad, and that was the previous one to the Idris Elba version. That's with Will Smith. And in that movie, there was one Mexican character, and he used to be working a cartel or something like that. And throughout the movie, until the very end, he doesn't speak. He is a complete introvert. He's very shy guy and whatnot. And people don't really take a look at him and things like that. But in one moment of the movie, he turns out an Aztec card, and then he shows fire and whatever sort of things, which looks very cool. And every one of the team member shows immense respect towards him. And this is a sort of narration you can see almost in every movie. There will be one character who doesn't talk and things like that, but he acts super smart at some instance of the movie, showing a superior intelligence, superior strength or something like that. And it's, of course, it adds a sort of like an entertainment flavor of having a suspense and whatever. But in reality, and also they also show another thing which, like, whenever there is a character which talks too much, they show as if like he's a dumber one. He doesn't understand things, he doesn't know things, and he just basically a guy who talks too much. Makes it to the proverb that says empty vessel makes more noise. But in reality, being an introvert is nothing as a sort of like it will increase your skill set or anything like that. Both person can actually learn something and be skilled at it. Being an introvert is basically a disadvantage. Either you having a psychological problem, or it's something that you have your mental construct saying that, you just imagine a lot of those things. And anyway, we already did that video a long time back. Probably if you guys like it, I will do it another one. So that makes people to be very comfortable being lonely and being an introvert, being shy, and don't feel guilty about it. And now what happens is you are just fine, as long as you're young, you can take care of yourself, which is all good. But over a period of time, when you're people, the world needs you for some prime portion of your time, and after that the world doesn't need you, you need the world. When you go to that portion of your life, and that is a time you will start feeling lonely, because no one really comes and talks to you. And now that is when you have to know that this has all been habitual bad habits maybe. And the next thing is like interdependence have changed into independence, because 25 years ago joint families were pretty common, and people can only sustain using a joint family. With being a single is basically more expensive, uneconomical, and you will not be able to sustain, because you will not be able to support each other. And whereas now, even nuclear family is actually a bit harder to survive because of inflation. So economically also, we are being pushed to be independent. And there was a campaign in Tamil Nadu. That is how we Tamil Nadu is like managing the population pretty well, and that is why we have the delimitation problem, where our representation in the parliaments is going to be lesser because of that. Anyway, we needed a separate video on that. So now there used to be a campaign which says like V2 R2, and now that's been changed up before, like around 10-15 years or something like that, V2 R1. And now it's like, we both are there, why we need another one? We just help each other out. And now that is basically what is we doing with the DINGs, dual income with no kids. And the future, even right now at the present, what happens is like pets have replaced human companions. Pets used to be pets, but now they actually become like a real human companions. And there are like dog moms and cat dads and things like that. And where it's basically just you, and you are sufficient enough to live in by yourself, and your pet is your companion, and you can stay there. And the future is going to be pet will be replaced with an AI pet or something like that. And I'm not against dogs or cats, guys. I had a lot of dogs. Just don't go into that topic. But point is like a pet can live up to 15 years. But as a human, you're going to be there for over 60 years. So a human companion can travel along with you throughout your life. A pet cannot do that. And you will constantly replace pets with another, and you constantly being broken and being loud and broken and being loud. Basically, you don't believe in any of these things. You get into a stage like that, and that is when loneliness kicks in. And then these days we trust strangers over the people we love the most. And the part of the problem is us. And what happens is, like, I'll give you a small story, and this is like couples who were serial killers. And what happened was like I think a husband or a wife, one of them was a serial killer, and then he went to the partner, and then he said like, okay, I'm a serial killer, and then like they both started killing each other, killing more people together. Now what happened is one of the partner was not actually a serial killer, since his partner, like his or her partner, was actually a serial killer, and based on because she was obsessed or addicted towards that person or something, and then she wants to do things to impress him and things like that. That portion of it probably it's not relevant to the video, but the portion which is relevant is a small snapshot of time span where I want you to look at it, where let's say one person is a serial killer who killed already 4 or 5 people. He goes to his partner and tells her that I am a serial killer first. The reason he is having the guts to say that is because he knows for sure that she will not say this to anyone other than him. I mean, like whatever the information you say to your partner, if it is not going to go to anyone else, you can go and tell her anything, and any of your secrets can be with her. First thing. And the second thing is like, she's not going to judge him. He's sure like, okay, you're a bad person, I'm not going to be with you, you're evil, and all that sort of stuff. He knows that she is not going to judge him, and that's the second thing. And the third thing is like, he knows that she will not be using it as a trump card. That means like, okay, I'm going to blackmail you right now, you're going to give me some money, or else I'm going to go to the cops. And now if you don't do these three things, and you will have people that you can bank on, you will not be lonely. And most of the time, if look at yourself, like if you have, let's say, around 10 friends, out of all those 10 friends, how many of your friends that you can go to them directly and tell them something pretty big thing that you have done, and then like you feel very bad about it, and you are comfortable enough to go and say it to your friend? And how many friends like that you have? And that's basically are the people who's actually not letting you feel lonely. And they are the people who is actually giving you companionship. Now, anyone who doesn't have not even a single person will definitely have loneliness as an issue now or in the future. And also, if you don't have any of your friends who come and tell you something like that, because you do all of these three things, you would have done these three things. You would have either made fun of them, you would have made a judgmental remark, or during a fight or something, you would have used it as a trump card to hurt him or her. And this is one of the things, guys. And the other thing is like, having a companion right now these days is also uneconomical. Going out to meet people, it costs money. Previously, it doesn't cost money. So we can just go anywhere, just come play cricket, we can go to beach, we can do anything, and it doesn't cost too much money. We don't even think about money as a factor. But today, if you want to get out of your home, it actually puts a dollar value right on top of your head. And every minute that you are spending outside, technically it's costing money. So it's become uneconomical to be having a companion or even having more friends and things like that. And the next thing is like, people are shy to meet people face to face. Especially after COVID and lockdown, I met a lot of students, and I spoke to a lot of college students and school students as well. And they don't really not interested in talking to people face to face, and in really meeting people alone, they're feeling it very awkward. They're feeling it not normal, which is something supposed to be normal, because humans are like a very social species. We exist today because we lived together, we lived as a group. But today we are feeling uncomfortable, we are feeling shy to look at each other face to face and talk to each other. Think about it. And the next one is like laziness. We don't want to go out of the home, we don't want to leave out of our comfort zone, and we don't want to send greeting cards anymore. We just send a message. We don't really care. We are very lazy. That's another thing. And then the apps. The apps are like the biggest cause for most of our problems. Like dating apps took away relationships. I mean, like people don't today, they can't even a boy cannot go to a woman and a girl and then propose her. A girl cannot do the same thing to a boy, which is supposed to be like the rest of the animal kingdoms. That is how they do it. They meet, they mate, and they make babies and stuff like that. But today, that is something which is very uncommon. People are not even comfortable doing it, and people think that they are strangers, but they are okay to go and talk to someone on a dating app, and they feel comfortable doing it on a dating app. And anyway, and then the other biggest problem with the apps is like WhatsApp and Facebook. The day I started using Orkut and Facebook is the days I started devaluating myself in my friend circle. And look at this way. So you're walking in a street, you see your friend coming in, and there is another friend coming behind him. Will you just walk past him, just swiping through, and then go to the second friend and talk without looking at the first friend or saying hi or anything like that? You will never do it. But in Facebook times, what we're doing, doesn't matter how much time we spent with the guy one as being a friend for like around 10 years in school and college and work and whatever, you just scroll through. You devaluate him. You get used to it. You're getting used to as if this is how you treat people, and you are okay with that. And it's the same way your friends is also okay with that. And now what's happening with this one is like, you don't bother to meet him. You don't bother to call him because you already devaluated him. You already swiped him through several times. And why would you call and waste your time on him? And that's the same thing they're going to do it. And that is why I'm going to take an initiative I'm going to post a message in my Facebook, and then I'm going to unfriend all of my friends in my Facebook. I'm going to tell them that if you really need to talk to me, just call me. And I'm not interested in to devaluate myself. And there is a time where you valued me much higher. I mean, like the time when I came out of school, all my school friends, if I met them, and if one of them come in front of me, I would have greeted them with joy. I would have really enjoyed talking to them. But today I'm on Facebook all the time, and he's on Facebook all the time, but we never used to talk for almost like 5-6 years and stuff like that. And what has changed? Only thing is, like, it's nothing more valuable for me to spend my time with him the same way he thinks about me. So that is why I'm going to unfriend all my friends in Facebook, and starting from today. And if people are truly interested to be in touch with me, they can always call me and they can always talk to me. And whenever we are in the same city or something, we should meet it. And that's basically how we manage a friendship. Not in Facebook, definitely not. And another thing is, like, so how do we solve this problem of loneliness? If you think about it, a very simple problem is like, you actually go and meet people. That's what people say, like, oh, you go out and meet people and things like that. That's fundamentally wrong, because, like, on a given day, I run few companies, and on a given day, I do like plenty of meetings. I work around 17 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I do plenty of meetings, almost from morning 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock in the night. I'll have continuous meeting. Apart from my 3 meals a day, I'll generally be in this room. I'll be doing meetings or in my warehouse, and then, arranging deliveries and talking to people. Now, if you look at it, on a single day, I'll be speaking to, let's say, around 50 to 100 people. But at night, I'll go to my kids' bed and then tell them stories, and then put them to sleep, and then I'll come back and do my work. Now, why is it I have to go and do it? The reason being is the whole day I actually felt alone, because none of those people actually saw beyond my public persona. Everyone who I met from my YouTube channel or from my Instagram or my clients or my partners or my employees, doesn't matter who they are. Everyone I spoke to, actually they looked at my public persona. They don't know who I am. They don't care who I am. The same way I don't care who I am, who they are, and then what their background is and what they do. And I don't care. I just basically focus on the mission of what I have to do, agenda for the meeting, and then just do that. Now, if I keep doing that for the whole day, and I will actually feel lonely. And that is what's happening. That's the first thing. And so meeting a lot of people is not the solution. Meeting at least one person which creates a meaningful collection is what actually kills the loneliness. And the second thing is, like, if you go around with a selfish reason that, okay, I got loneliness, I'm going to fix it, I'm going to find someone to talk to, you're never going to solve the problem. Because every time you go on a selfish intent, people will see your intent before you reach there. Let's say if someone is going to call you and say, okay, Rahul, I'm going to come and see you, and I'm going to give you some money. I'll be waiting. And if they say, like, okay, I'll come and help you fix your bike, I'll come and help you fix your home, clean your home. If someone says like that, I will respect them, I will wait for them, I will get things done. But now if they say, like, okay, I'll come and see you, I need some 10 lakhs of cash. I'll come and see you, I need some help, I want you to work on my project and get things done. Now what you will say? No, I have some work, I have to go out. Now why is that? Because, like, no one really likes or gets connected with a person who has got a selfish intent. So if you want to kill your loneliness, all you have to do is see what others need. See what others might also have loneliness. Okay, let's go and spend some time with this guy, and go for others. And then after a couple of times, they will think about you. And they'll say, like, okay, Rahul is going to come and meet me today, and let me cook something for him. And let's go out for something, and let's fly some kite, whatever. They will think about you as well. And that is how you kill loneliness. So it's not about you and the problem. It's about, yeah, of course I need them, but it starts with them so that it fixes your problem. And next is, like, I would say, like, 5 things you never talk to your relationships, any relationship, being it a friend, lover, girlfriend, whatever the relationship may be. Never talk about these 5 things: money, politics, religion, ideology, career. So all of these 5 things, I wouldn't really be interested in talking to any of my close friends and circle. The reason being is, all of these things, people have some personal attachment or connection to it. And anything that you say can easily offend them. For example, religion, you might be of a different faith, or you might be an atheist, and you might actually say something which might hurt them. And if that is the case, they will not look at your statement. They will not hate your statement. They will hate you. And that is the starting step of, your relationship actually going in a different way. And the second thing, same with money. Because today people have an ego. They bring an ego to a relationship because you bring money into the conversation. The moment you bring money into the conversation, people will bring their ego into it. Because everyone making money, and everyone knows that that money is what actually give them their self-confidence. Money is what actually give them their lifestyle, what they're living in. And this is something which I actually said in the Mars video, where like Mars will be a future slum of human mankind. The reason being is, if you look at it, when you are starting from scratch, you can start from the bottom, and then as you climb up, you go into the life, and then when something goes wrong, you come back again to the bottom. And any country which doesn't have a slum structure, the people who come down to the bottom, they'll directly become homeless. There is no chances of going back again. But now when there is a slum, you can go up and you can come down, and you can go up anytime you want it, any number of times. Because every time you come down, you are at the lowest point of your life. You don't have economically able to support just yourself. You don't have health. You don't have anything to help yourself. Now the slum is a basic structure which gets you everything. It gives you a residential, it gives you a place to stay, doesn't matter how it is, it gives you things that you can share with other people, and then you can push it from there on top of it. So now what happens is, like, when you bring in money into the conversation, people worked hard for their lifestyle, what they have, and they identify themselves along with the lifestyle. So no, that is the thing which basically makes them bring the ego into the conversation, which will break the relationship. And same with ideology. People will have their ideology. They might have been like looking at it, read about it, and anytime you argue ideology, people are not going to give up any ideology. Any religious person, you cannot talk to him like 10 minutes, even 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 days, 3 days to give up his religion. And anyone who talk to people, you cannot give up his ideology. So no point in arguing that with a friend or anyone who you care about. And then the next thing is like, be regular at some places. Going to a concert or going to a pub or going to a cafe once in a while is not going to actually create anything. It's basically a place that you went for one occasion. But let's say if there is in Chennai, when I used to live in there, and we used to have like smaller haircut shops where we used to go, and then we used to have called Anna. He's like an elder to us, and he comes there and then he talks like a friend, and he gives us a TV remote, asks us to change the channel, he buys us coffee, tea or something, we'll sit and drink and talk, and then we cut the hair, of course. But the point is, like, it is not just we went there to cut hair, like we actually built a relationship over it. But now last time when I've been to Chennai, it's all gone. So those shops are no more, like now it is all like big salons with people. Even if I go like around 50 times, I'm not going to make any personal connection, because the guy who works here today will go to another saloon tomorrow, and the manager will be gone to another saloon, and even the shops will change, and I can't really make any connection out of it. So be regular to some places, and like cafes, supermarkets, and any place smaller enough that you can actually meet people that stays there for a long period of time, who can create some real connection, so that they address you based on your name, they know you as a person. And the next thing is like gaming is fun, and gaming is actually create a lot of engagement, and then it keeps us engaged, which is good. But problem is like play it with friends, and not just mean online. Go to a gaming cafe and play with friends, and it will be a lot more memorable than playing alone. And trust me guys, and it works. I'm a gamer, and I played a lot of games, and that's one of the time where we had like around 30 people. We were all having a LAN and we were playing. And that's like, we play in the same home, we bring laptops and play together, and that used to be fun. That used to be memorable. And today, we do play a lot of games, and you can't really remember like games that you played with who at like 3-4 days ago and things like that. So it's just passing clouds. So think about it. So the loneliness is something that it's not something that happens today because you did something yesterday. It is happening today because you did something for the last 20 years and 15 years. And some of those things you can easily fix it. And some of those things like you need people around you to also work together to fix it. But you be an example and you start. We'll see again in another video guys, and thank you so much for all the love and support. Cheers.